cos is unlimited. X over R.
Yeah, I don't even remember that.
Okay, exact value. So using the unit circle and your 6 ratios. So cos is the flip of which one? Do you remember? Secant. So that would be R over X. Sine is the flip of cosecant. So that would go R over Y. And cotangent is the flip of tan. Okay? So using the unit circle and the 6 ratios, this is how you do it. Okay, so everyone has a unit circle in front of them? And there's 6 ratios. So I want you to go to 210. Okay, is everyone looking right there? That's where your eyes are. Sine is what? What letters do I do?
Y and R.
Sine is doing the y divided by r. And what do you know about the r on the unit circle?
It's 1.
It's 1. So does it matter if I write divide by 1 on a number? No. So are you okay if I scratch this off? So the answer is, what's the y coordinate? So at 210 degrees, the y coordinate is -1/2. That's it. Done. Okay. Cos
That's like right here.
5 pi over 6. So first of all, we all have to find where we're looking.
The exact value of
So 5 pi over 6. Are you looking on the spot in your unit circle right there? And then I think about cos, and what is cos? X over R.
That's okay.
And when we have anything from the unit circle, we're dealing with an R value of 1. So when I look at 5 pi over 6, the X coordinate is -√3 over 2. Okay, tan of 330, so first put your eyes where? 330, so you're all looking here at your unit circle. And tan tells me to do the y divided by x. So this one's not as fun because you don't get to scratch off anything. So I'm going to do the y coordinate. So -1/2 divided by √3 over 2. What happens when you're working with dividing two fractions? What's the process? Think flip multiply. And then looking at it, something happens to make my life a little easier. 2's can cancel. And I get -1 over √3. Okay? You also should know this all connects to Astica, right? So in quadrant 4, tan should be negative, right? This was in quadrant 2, cos should be negative. This is in quadrant 3, sine should be negative. That's always following suit. Okay, so what does it do when I put in one of the new functions, so secant? So first, look at your location. So your eyes should be here, 7 pi over 6. Secant, I'm not going to write the letters down. I'm just going to understand that it's the flip of cos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the x coordinate, which is cos, and I'm going to flip whatever I see as the x. So on my unit circle, this is x, and then I need to flip that. 2 over root 3. And there's a negative involved. I usually just put the negative on the top no matter what. It's not wrong if you wrote me this. It's just a math thing that you would never write the negative on the bottom. You usually bring it to the top. Okay, where do your eyes go for this if you're doing a negative rotation? Backwards. So my eyes should be right there at 11 pi over 6. And then this says the sign, so I just need the y. So at 11 pi over 6, the y is negative a half. Okay, this one's a little bit trickier with location. How do you go to 23 pi over 6? So I'm going to go like this. This is 6 over 6 because that's 1. This is 12 over 6 because that's 2. What's the next semicircle? 18. The next full circle would be 24. So then 23 is not quite there, right? Okay, so which are we looking at? 11 pi over 6. You basically always make sure you're looking at the one with the same bottom, right? That's where I'm looking. Okay, so first figure out where you're looking.
What if it was like, could it have been like 22 out of 6? Pi over 6?
Yes.
And then that would have been like, but it's not that close to the thing. You know what I mean?
Yep. Think about splitting this into 6 parts. So if this was 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24.
So it might not have the same 6 on the bottom. Though.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that to you.
Okay.
Because then you just told me 22 over 6, right?
Yeah.
I would write that as 11 over 3 if I had written it, because I would have wrote it as a reduced number.
Then you would have just gone to 5, or the 5 pi over 3 one. The
Yeah.
line there.
Right, because then I just would have done 5, no, sorry, 3, 6, 9. Then the next one would have been 12, so I would have landed there.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Okay, so here's where we're looking. And what is that? Cosecant. Okay, it is the flip of sine. So that means find the y value and flip it. Find the y value and flip it. So negative a half was the original. So now it's negative 2. Positives and negatives, those are never going to change. Okay, so again, it's just easier to just take the reverse of sine. I know that some of you keep saying, well, that would have been that, which would have been 1 over negative a half, which do you see how in math that ends up all flipping back, and then it would be negative 2, right? Because I would do 1 times flip. Okay, so there's no point in doing the 1 divided by y when you can just reverse the y. Okay, same idea, it's just faster, right? Okay, so now I'm going to make you do that and put it together with some math stuff. So the tan of 315, so you're going to be doing the y divided by x there. So going to 315, the y divided by the x. secant is flipping what? It's flipping cos. So take the x value, so go to 240. Take the x value and flip it. So negative 2 over 1. Now we could do flip, multiply, but this, you should just understand what it is. What happens when you have the same value divided by the same value? It's 1, and now there's a negative involved. So negative 1 times by negative 2?
Negative 2,
Just 2. Okay? So that's me just putting some math stuff together after the concept. Okay, the last one. Is this the last one? Yep.
Hey, could you explain again how you solved the, I was still writing it down.
Which one? G?
Yeah,
Okay, so I went to 315. So do you see my eyes are on 315? So tan, you got to understand what letters you're finding, which is y divided by x. So this is what it looks like. This is my y, this is my x. Do you see this division is the same value divided by the same value? And obviously there's one negative, so that's why I got a negative 1 out of that.
okay.
Yep. And then did you see what I did there? Secant,
Yeah,
flip of cos, which means figure out the x and then turn it around, flip it. So 240, put your eyes there, take your x, write that upside down. Okay, 2 parts here. We are going to be finding a y because it's sine. And the second idea is where. What are you finding and where are you finding it? Hey, this is a spinny one. You got to spin a bunch. How do you get to 20? I'm going to count. 3, 6, 9. What do you got? 12? 15, 18, 21 would be next. So where do you land? In that quadrant. Okay, so where you landed? So which one are you exactly looking at? 2 pi over 3. Okay, so that's where we're looking. 2 pi over 3 and grabbing the y. So that is root 3 over 2. But there's some math involved. It says I have to figure that out and then square it. What is the trig value squared? So what happens when we square a square root? Just goes away. And then 2 squared, so that's 3/4.